Hello, Mario, and welcome to my series of videos on drawing this simple cul-de-sac project using AutoCAD. First of all, we're going to look at just the general setup and the curve, but before we do that, I'm just going to turn this title layer off here, which is just for my videos, and then I'm going to go to the layout that I've set up here called Scheme. My preference usually is to work in the layer and scale that I'm going to my final production. I know some people prefer to work in model space, but as I said, my preference is to work like this. It can slow the program down a bit, but nonetheless, that's where I'm going to be working. So what I've done is I'm drawing this plan here, which is just the scheme plan, which sort of sets out the lots and the sort of configuration. And the first thing I've done here is I've set it up in 3 different viewports. So there's 3 viewports on here, and you should note that the viewports, if we go back to paper space and click on these, the viewports are in a layer called viewports, and the viewports layer is a non-printing layer. So that, say for instance, if you go to plot this sheet, plot it out here using the Adobe PDF and just do a preview here, you can see that the viewport boundaries don't come out and that you just end up with something as I've got here, with the typical cross-section and the curb and channel profile there. So we'll just back out of there and back as you were. So cancel that. And so I'm just going into here to the typical cross-section to have a look at that. Now I think it's very important that we have the typical cross-section here all set out as I've got it here. I've just noticed a couple of little things that I'll sort of try and fix up as I'm going along. I just wanted those to be a little bit shorter there, like so. And that one there also maybe just up there out of the way so that it's not quite as obtrusive. It's very important that you get your typical cross-section all set up here, and one of the things that I note also is that I haven't got a total length for it. For 2 reasons. One of them is that you can be sure that the mathematics is correct for the total cross-section, that that you're fully aware that it all adds up, so that you don't have any small problems when you're working with your sheets and what have you. So you're familiar with the mathematics of it, which I am now very familiar of it. I must say that in preparing this, I was particularly when I came to looking at my curve profile that I did get it wrong initially, and that I had to adjust it to make it fit. So now, as you can see, I'm having those there. It's all set out. I've got something to refer back to with regards to my typical cross-section and my curve profile. Now, the first thing I want to look at is I've got this text here, which is in the alignment text layer. So I'm just going to turn that layer off in this viewport here, so that text is out of the way. And I've got my centre line of my road. Remembering what's important to remember, and you'll see in subsequent videos, that the centre line of the road is the key component of this, and very important that everything refers back to this, as this sort of holds everything together in a number of ways. So what I want to start doing is just drawing in here what my it's going to look like, and in particular my road features. Now I know from the information that I have provided previously that we have a 70-metre curve going on in here. Now it's very important that the geometry that we use follows Euclidean principles, and that is that every curve starts at a tangent point, and every straight line finishes, so that we don't have non-tangential curves and things like that, and this will become clear as I go on. So the first and the easiest one is this central curve here, which will be possibly called curve 1, as it is the only curve in the design. So it's a 70 metre radius curve. So first of all, I'm just going to go to offset, over offset, and I'm going to make that 70 in there, and I'm just going to offset the centre line here from here to there 70 metres, and from there to there 70 metres. Now that will give me, having done that, that will give me the centre of curvature for the curve. So what I'm going to do there is I'm just going to first of all use DDP type, which just to check what the status of oh, it's not checked anything. Oh, it's still in the offset command there. So I'll get out of that command and now go to DDP type there. And that'll should tell me that I've just got the points showing as a little dot. So I want to make them a little bit more visible just at the moment for that. So I'm going to go with that. And what I'm going to do is just go PO for point, and I'm going to put a little point right there. Oh. I don't know what I've done there, DDP type. I might have just, things didn't quite go as I'd expected. Okay. And oh yes, I see now that what's happening here is I'm working in a layer called alignment text, which I've turned off, and that's not the layer I should be working on. So that's just highlighted a little spot there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, and I'm going to change the layer for that to, I think I have created one called road features. So I'm going to put that in the road features layer. And these two offsets here, I'm going to, you know, I might want to refer back to them later on. So I'm going to put those into my trash layer. And my trash layer is turned off. So there we are. And then I'm going to make my road features layer my current layer. So everything I draw will be in my road features layer up here. All good. So there's my centre of curvature there, and I'm going to take a line from there back to the centre line, like so. Okay, and similarly I'm going to take a line, alpha line, back to the centre line here, and I see here that I've still got my alignment text layer on, so I might go with my original tensions and just turn that off like so. And then just checking here, you'll recall I just turned it off, but anyway, we'll go with that. You can see that that's 180 degrees and 70, and this one here is 156 degrees 0120, which is at right angles to that there, and again it's 70 metres long. So now that enables us to put the curve in. You could use the arc tools, but I just find using the curve, the circle one easier. So C for circle, bang that in there, 70 metres, I know. I can see that that looks pretty good. And what I'm going to do now is just do a trim. So TR for trim, enter, and just going to select these two here, like so, okay, and end that selection and just trim to there. And there we are, I've got my little curve in there, and yeah, that's the start of the curve. I'm going to I've got up to around about 10 minutes now with this video, so I'm just going to stop there and move on. I'll create another video where I'll sort of start to show you how to work with the curvature. But the main thing to get out of what I've done here is first of all set up that curve there, and got my typical cross section and curve profiles all set up, and we're all ready to move. So yeah, we'll just go with that.